think that's something that, schools should follow to help better figure out what those best practices are?
Yeah, I definitely believe so. It's always good to get feedback from other schools that are doing it, finding out what their mistakes are, how to fix it.
What about reaching out to schools that have had shootings? And
It's also a great way to learn. It sucks to say it, but it is a great way to learn from what's happened.
Sure. I mean, you hate to, dehumanize it and say it's almost an beta type of sorts, but that's, worst case scenario, right? Active shooter gets into a building, lives are lost. What can we learn from that so it doesn't happen again?
As a parent, do I have a right to know if my child's teacher is armed?
It would say so on the door when your kid walks in every day. I mean, and that would be about as far as I think anyone should know besides the personnel that are carrying, is that there are people carrying, but you don't know who. Just for their safety, and that doesn't eliminate, but it lowers the risk of someone taking the gun from that person. I think that's my take.
I think I agree with that.
You think, you mentioned, I think, the location of Mr. Overton's prior school being kind of more rural. I mean, we're surrounded by fire stations and police. I mean, this is a pretty hopping urban area. I mean, is it necessary to arm teachers when a place like this has access to
Maybe not
first
so.
responders?
Maybe not so. It just depends on location. If we're surrounded by, if we have a paid officer or have nearby police stations that make our response time advantageous to what other schools have, then maybe arming school teachers is the most effective solution for us, since we might have that base code already. So we maybe could invest in more things like metal detectors or something like that.
I would say, personally, I think arming teachers, as far as spending money, is probably one of the best methods, because there's someone on site with a firearm that is good. Every school shooting or every shooting is stopped by a good guy with a gun. And so if there's a teacher, that it might take them 30 seconds to get there, but you hear shots. A police officer, I don't know how long it takes them to get here, but it'd probably be 5 minutes before they're getting into the building. That in 5 minutes with an AR-15 or whatever other gun you want to say, that's a lot of rounds they can go through.
But we are fortunate that we do have an armed resource officer on campus.
Well, and that's another thing is, I think we should have more than just one, because there's one person on the, with a gun, and there's 400 high school students, 200 middle school, or 300, I don't know, something like that. That's 700 people. That's a 700 to 1 ratio. I think the ratio should be more like 1 to 100. For every 100 students, there's someone with a firearm.
But then how do you feel about walking up and down the halls with armed guards, every 60 feet? I mean, that to me would be, that's not kind of the school I want to be in.
There is certainly a line you can cross to where safety might give way to what people might interpret as discrimination or protection or other things against them personally. But I mean, again, you can't really, of course you can, I'm sorry, I'm choosing my words. For just the larger part of it, you can't get upset if your school is trying to protect you. You can certainly give your opinion on the way you think it should be, but you can't get upset about that.
It's kind of like going through TAS to the airport, right? Or
Yeah.
TSA to the airport. I mean, nobody wants to run a plane that gets
You
hijacked,
get
but everybody
annoyed, but you
complains
can't.
about taking
You'd rather-
off their shoes to go through the
Yeah, you'd rather not
screen.
have it. I mean,
Well, let me ask you this, and this is not on your little list of something that you've researched, so no points off if you don't have an opinion on this, but let's say that I am a parent of a student and I have a military background or I work in law enforcement, should I be able to carry my weapon on campus?
Yes.
Even though
Kentucky
there's a
right.
big old sign that says no weapons here on campus.
Well, Kentucky right now, they're working on a piece of legislation, I don't know what it's called, where if you have your concealed carry, you can carry anywhere. So gun-free zones are no longer gun-free zones
Even in a school.
in the school. Yes.
Okay, so having my concealed carry means I have like the minimum amount of training. That doesn't make me feel particularly, safe. I mean, it's really not a lot you have to do to get your concealed carry. I'm talking about a little bit higher than that. I'm talking about parents. We have students who are, that is their job and are a lot more than you would need, a lot more
Yeah.
training than you would need for your concealed
Should they be allowed to carry their firearm?
while they're on campus.
I would say have that.
Like separate from the school, like
Separate
they
from the
come
s-
to see a play or whatever.
They come to see a play, they come to meet their
Come
child,
to a
or again,
football game.
think younger than, this, so I've come to help serve lunch to the sixth graders. Or I'm gonna go, tear open ketchup packets for the third graders. Should I be able to have my weapon with me?
I think no, because I feel like they shouldn't feel the need to carry their gun onto campus anyway, because in this situation, there has already been implemented a system to protect the school, and that teachers should know that there are teachers, or that parents, sorry, should know that there are teachers on campus.
And them attempting to lone wolf be the hero that's not a part of the system could be more of a detriment, because very often when there is teachers being armed, there are procedures to make sure the police don't mistake a active protector from an active shooter. And so if the parent, that your given parent isn't aware of those, which they wouldn't be, there's certainly a danger of them being mistaken for the shooter if they're trying to just be more of an assurance of protection.
I would say they should be allowed to, just because it's your Second Amendment right to protect yourself.
Ooh, did you read the Second Amendment?
Keep and bear arms.
Okay, that doesn't mean you get to have a well-formed militia.
Literally say by yourself.
Well, I'm